Hey, reseller friends, welcome to our webinar, Posh Perfect, Poshmark Pro Tips and Live Selling. We're going to give people just 2 minutes to join, and then we'll get started. In the meantime, tell us in the chat where you are located or your Poshmark name. I just enabled that chat here, so tell us where you're tuning in from, and welcome. Oh my goodness, so many people. Hey everyone. Thanks for joining. I see so many reseller for the number of people coming in is just overflowing. My computer can't keep up. Welcome everyone to Posh Perfect.
Hey guys, welcome in. I see North Carolina, Ohio,
Texas, Houston.
Texas, a lot of Texas.
Miami, in the house.
Massachusetts, me too.
Any Long Islanders yet? New York,
Atlanta.
I see Maine, Miami, Pittsburgh.
Florida, Texas.
Not yet, I'm sure. Let me see.
We even got South Carolina in the house. My mother lives there in Myrtle Beach.
I bet we have all 50 states with the amount of people
Illinois?
here. Illinois. North Georgia mountains.
Mountains.
Nice. Hi from Miami. Hey everyone.
Hi,
Join us.
Charlie.
Welcome to Posh Perfect. We're going to give people just 1 more minute to filter on in, and I'm super excited to get started. Hey Mari.
Lori. Hi, Lori.
Hey Lori. So many reseller friends in the house. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, Maria.
Hey everyone, Virginia. We've got so many people. All right, let's get this party started. Welcome everyone to Posh Perfect, Poshmark Pro Tips and Live Selling. This is a Vendoo webinar. As you might know, Vendoo is a reseller's best friend. It's your go-to platform for all things reselling, offering listing, cross-listing, inventory management, delist, relist, analytics, and even more. Our team works hard to create a ton of valuable content for resellers about all of our platforms, and I'm super excited for this one about Poshmark and Poshmark's live selling feature. Be sure to stay on this call to the end because we have giveaways, games, and fun surprises. We also have a special code to offer all of our users today. Sign up with the code Poshmark40 for 40% off your first month to Vendoo. In this webinar, we'll talk about Poshmark live shows and selling, an overview and top sellers on Poshmark, some listing tips with our experts here, how to manage your Poshmark closet, and of course, how to list on Poshmark with Vendoo. We also have a live Q&A session with our guests and Poshmark experts. We have in the house Janine, you might know her as the Frugal Fashionista, and Jen, who you might know as Belle and Blue. And I will let these ladies introduce themselves.
Go ahead, Janine.
Oh, okay. Well, I've been selling on Poshmark for about 10 years now. I joined back in 2012, if I did my math correctly. But most people don't know that I've hosted Posh and Sips all across the country, year after year, Zoom, in person, in most of the states, I think, including pre-Posh Fest parties. Spoken at Posh Lives, been a speaker, a closet consultant. But I think the highlight of everything for me has been going to Canada and being able to talk with people who never heard about Posh Fest or Poshmark before. So that was really a highlight for me.
Thank you, Janine, so much for joining us. And Jen, I'm so thrilled to be at another Posh event with you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Janet Belle and Blue. I started Poshmark March 2013, and I have to tell you, it changed my life totally. At that time, didn't know what I was going. I was doing just, my job, didn't really have my passion. So when I found Poshmark, it literally changed my life. And I stand here before you. I would not be this person if I had not found Posh. I know this wholeheartedly. I'm a mom of 2 kids, Jackson Hunter. And because of Poshmark, it allows me the freedom and the flexibility to watch them grow up. And I have this amazing group of supportive women and just resellers, women and men, who are just so happy to see each other succeed and help each other, giving out information freely. This community has been such a blessing. And then I found Vendoo, another platform that helps everybody succeed. I cannot tell you how much I love both Vendoo, Poshmark, Deneen, and Erin. There you are. That's my intro.
Ah, she's bringing us to tears right in the beginning, everyone. Ladies, I could not think of two better guests. I'm so honored to be here with both of you. Did we just lose Deneen?
Deneen?
I'm sure she'll be right back. Technical, when you host a live event, that's what happens. But I'm actually going to start with the Poshmark overview. Generally in these webinars, I ask questions of the host, but we want to save kind of the expert and live selling questions for you. So for anyone that's not on Poshmark, here is your quick overview by Erin. Poshmark is one of the largest e-commerce platforms with more than 80 million registered users across the United States, Canada, Australia, and India. Poshmark is a place for women's, men's, and children's fashion, select beauty and home decor items, also some pet items and electronics, but really they are known for the fashion. Poshmark is perhaps the easiest place to sell. So if you're a brand new seller, they have the simplest listing and shipping processes, especially in compared to all of the other platforms. Poshmark fees are 20%. Of sale price, with the one exception being that sales that are $15 or under, it is a flat fee of $2.95. So a very simple breakdown. Getting paid on Poshmark works like this. You get paid within 3 days of delivery. Sooner, if your buyer were to accept and rate you. You can get paid via instant pay, direct deposit, or even cash out on some places like PayPal. Poshmark does not allow returns unless the item is received not as described or not received at all. And that's kind of your Posh 101. And I wanted to get that out of the way so that we could then focus more on the expert questions. So let me skip around here. I think Deneen might be experiencing some technical difficulties. But we'll start with you, Jen. You have 90,000 active listings and approximately 60,000 sales. Guys, in the chat, can we get some applause for that? Can we believe those numbers? That is so inspiring and encouraging. Tell us how you did that. Welcome back, Deneen.
Hi, Deneen. I was like, oh no, technical issues. I have to tell you, just like most people, when I signed up for a Poshmark, it was really to resell my brand name handbags. But then I actually started buying more than, I call it clothes hoarding, too much of pile. And then I realized I saw two huge closets, like two huge boutiques at that time. And I thought to myself, well, if these, successful women can do it, why can't I do it, or the next gal? So that's where I put my focus, and I started small. I didn't jump right in because I was hesitant. I never did it before. I didn't believe that, that I could do it. And don't let the fear, this is my best advice, do not let the fear in you, because all of us have it. Just take that leap of faith, and you can't even imagine what can come after. So it just started snowballing. After that, 2013, I really started focusing on reselling at 2014, and it's just grown and grown and grown ever since. So here I am.
So amazing. That's so inspiring. And Deneen, we missed you. Welcome back.
Thank you. This is real life, people. This is live, and my computer just crashed.
Well, we're glad to have you. And what would you say is your favorite thing about Poshmark that makes Poshmark different than all of the other places to sell online?
Oh, definitely the community part of it. I've never seen a platform with more community support from buyers and sellers on any other platform than on Poshmark. From Posh gatherings all across the country to Facebook groups, Instagram, YouTube. I mean, it doesn't matter where you are, the amount of information that gets given out, the inspiration and support from person to person is unlike anything I've ever seen. People even raise money for those in need. I've seen thousands of dollars being raised. But to give you an example, see this? here. I don't know if you guys can see.
Oh.
I purchased this. This is a surprise. She has no idea I'm wearing it. From
Oh,
Jen, Bell and Blue's Closet.
thank
She
you
has
so
the
much.
most amazing pieces. And that's the type of support you get on Poshmark.
Oh, thank you so much.
Aw.
You look beautiful. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
That is a beautiful piece. So check out Jen's Closet at Bell and Blue, BELLANBLUE. So ladies, on Poshmark, like we said, you can sell men's, women's, and children's fashion. Select pet, select home decor, select electronics. I think they're trying to be competitive, but the main thing is fashion. What is your main thing? We'll start with you, Deneen. What is your personal top seller on Poshmark over all these years?
Well, I have to say, the exciting thing about this answer is that I really never took the time to research it, prior to signing up with Vendoo last year. Now, I have to say, even Poshmark has analytics, but definitely for me, Vendoo is number one. Their analytics are like none other. So while using Vendoo, I said, let me look. It has by brand, it has by category and subcategory. So looking at all of that, my answer is bags. I'm a bag lady.
She is a bag queen.
I am a bag lady. I have my show on every Thursday at 9:00, all about the bags. And I love shoes. So Michael Kors, Coach, all that. But I really want to stress not to go by me. Go by what excites you. Go by what you have a passion for. I happen to have a passion for that. Or go by what's in your area that you can access either for free, for friends, whatever it is that you can turn around and flip what works for your closet.
Love that. The great thing about accessories is they have no size. Well, within reason, right? Belts and shoes, but you're potentially opening your buyer pool up significantly every time you sell something like a handbag, as opposed to a dress, that only fits people in that size. So I love accessories. I think it's a great place to start. And what about you, Jen? What is your top seller on Poshmark and those 60,000 sales?
Unbelievable.
Well, Deneen, she's wearing a perfect example for fall, winter. It's the poncho. I want to be size inclusive, but a lot of the vendors are not. So, but when fall time comes, I have one piece items that literally is open size. Like anybody can wear what she's rocking. It's all open sizes. And for me, it's always about the seasonal, like for spring, summer, it will be dresses and skirts. Fall time will be outerwear and ponchos. And I want to just agree with Deneen with analytics, how important it is, because a lot of people before I would just be like, I just think that this is my best seller. I'm going off memory. I don't really have actual numbers, but when you have a system where you can actually see what is your top seller, that's going to help you leaps and bounds.
Absolutely. I will talk about Vendoo analytics because they're amazing. So you might be familiar on Poshmark with your closet insights, which is great. It's a new feature. It does provide a little bit, brands and, the amount of sales you make via offer and such. But Vendoo's analytics are next level, and they're not just for Poshmark. They're for every single place you sell. We tell you over any time period, profit, revenue, amount listed, amount sold, essentially sell-through rate, your top performing platforms, your average sale price by platforms, your top selling brands, categories, and subcategories. So they're impressive analytics, and they're super easy on these cute little clean graphs. And I'm never not surprised when I look at them. Like Jen had said, I think I might be selling a lot of dolls, but it's so nice to see all of those stats, not only because it's interesting, but because it's super helpful to show you where to put your time and energy.
And money.
And money. So
money,
Denise,
yes.
tell us about creating a Poshmark account. Is there a lot involved? Is it super simple? How does it work?
It's super simple. So
We
pretty
like that.
much this, okay? You download the Poshmark app, you go into apps, you download it. You can also access it from the browser in your computer, but you download it, you create a name. Now I'm going to give you a little tip. Make sure you create a name that's memorable. So if you create a name like XYZ123457, guess what? Nobody's going to remember you, and it's going to be hard for people to find your name. Okay? So make sure you create something and you start branding yourself right off the bat. Use someone's code is another tip, because whether you're getting $5 or $10 after your first purchase, you help someone out and they help you out. It's a full round circle, and you can find those codes on social media. Everybody's got one. So another thing I would say is put all your info and a photo in. Very easy. Just pop in a photo. Poshmark walks you through the steps once you're signed in. It's super easy. You know, as far as putting your own personal photo in, this makes it a more personal experience for someone that they don't think they're buying from or selling to, no name. It really gives you that personalized feel that you're a person. They're dealing with a person, not just a number or a big business. And that's it. You know, you punch in, you put your photo in to sell, you take your photo, make a description, and voila, it's done. But I really have to say, using Vendoo has made it so much easier for me. You know, I like to create my listing in Vendoo because Vendoo's template is great. It tells me what information I need in order to create a successful listing on Poshmark, from photo imaging and light adjustment to the amount of words I can put in the title. I mean, all the way to price checking. So it's you know, Vendoo's made my life a lot easier on top of that. So when you're just starting out, that's what I would recommend.
Thank you. So Poshmark, super easy, made even easier with Vendoo.
Mhm.
We love that. Jen, I want to add, do you have any other tips about branding? Because I don't think there's a person in the audience that hasn't heard Bell and Blue. You're a registered brand on Poshmark. And I love what Deneen said. They're like, don't use, you know, my name XYZ23. What are your tips for starting with making a name that people recognize?
You know me, I actually fell into that. I'm like, what name can I start with? You know what I did when I first started? Jennifer and a number. How many Jennifers does everybody know? I mean, I stay with this name, and luckily, you know, you can change it, but I'm like thinking it is so important to come up with a name that basically you're branding yourself, right? So this name will carry over to you want to keep it on your social media. If you have a site, whatever it is, it has to carry over. You have to find a name that you can buy the URL for, that you could own. So coming up with Bell and Blue was like, I had to think and think and think, but because I stay with it and I brand myself across all of the social media apps and, you know, Poshmark and everything, you see my logo there, everybody knows it's me. I feel, since I branded myself and, like when you, okay, so for me, this is my own personal experience. When I get a lot of shares, I'm manually sharing or whatever it is, I see a whole bunch of pictures, but if you brand yourself, whatever color, let's say a color option. You pick a color option and I see that color option or a picture, I know it's you without having to click on it. For me, I have so many, not compliments, but so many people have told me that since I've changed my logo, that I've become more familiar. And so that's how they recognize me. And that goes all across the board. So however you want to brand yourself, if you want to put your picture, make it the same picture across everywhere. Like even like, I think Deneen, you do this for your Posh lives, you use the same, right? So every time, like, cause there's so many, when you're scrolling, when you see the same picture, you'll know right away. You don't have to read the name. That's Deneen. And that's who I'm going to click on. For me, I feel that's very important, and it'll help you go a long way.
I agree. And that's super valuable advice. Consistency in photos, a recognizable username, not just Jennifer 123.
I was like Jennifer 123. I'm like, whoa.
So one thing that's super notable about Poshmark is that Poshmark has amazing SEO, right? And what that means is that Poshmark listings rank and yield in so many searches on Google. Not right now, but after this, but try it yourself. Google what you're wearing, because if I were to Google navy blue hoodie, a Poshmark listing will come up. You won't necessarily see listings from all the other marketplaces right away, but you will see Posh. So SEO is huge. And it's not just huge on the Poshmark search, but it's huge on those search engines. And that's a really, really big deal and a really opportunity. So what tips do you ladies have for enhancing SEO in your descriptions? We'll start with you, Deneen.
You know what? Well, I want you to think like a buyer. That's what I always tell everyone. Think like a buyer. Think, what would a buyer type into Google search engine and Poshmark feed for what they're looking for a particular piece? And like Erin said, you know, if they're looking for a blue Coach bag, they're going to type in Coach, blue, leather, hobo bag, something like that. So take that into account. And please don't put host pick and I know everybody loves to do this. Maybe put it in the picture with the item, but don't put host pick or any emojis in your title because that is not going to help you. Hashtags. There are 3 of them that, pick the ones that are relevant. Vintage is very popular as an example. Poshmark gives you 3. I also look for keyword trends, and you can do that by looking on Google Trends. But also pay attention to see what's going on in TikTok, to see what movies are out. For example, everybody's seen Wednesday. I don't know if you put in the chat, if you love Wednesday, it's on Netflix. So now what is that? Wednesday core and goth, all of that is trending and people want to buy items that look like her. So you know what? But honestly, me personally, I'm always learning. Wednesday Adams, that's right. I'm learning about SEO because why? It's always changing. Trends are ever changing. Seasons are ever changing. So my best advice, go to the Vendoo blog because you have Erin here who is like SEO queen. Okay, Vendoo, I can't stress enough how much the Vendoo blog and all the information that they put out on Instagram and Facebook has helped me with SEO. So 4 Lines Boutique and also Deanna Online are SEO gurus. Just saying.
Team Vendoo, you get the link in the chat to the Resellers Guide to SEO on the Vendoo blog. Pretty please. That's a super helpful one. And I appreciate that, Deneen. No emojis, guys. No emojis. They register as unknown characters. And how about you, Jen? What are some of your best SEO tips?
I'm going to agree with Deneen. When you're searching for something, think like a buyer. This is totally true. If you have a brand, you're going to want to put the brand in there. You want to put the color. You want to put the style in there. Be as descriptive as you can because, you have limited space for the title. And Poshmark, thank gosh, they gave us so much more room for the description. So you can put tag words in there. But I would just the best thing is just to type the description just like if you were searching for it. That is the best tip because a lot of people, when they change the algorithm, everybody remembers that, right? And how it totally changed everything. They were telling us, no, kind of like in the nicest way, make the title as short as possible instead of making it as descriptive. We're like, which way do we go? Luckily, it's back to what it should be. And we are, putting like the brand name, the title, the color, be as descriptive as possible. Use your tag words. Use your tag words in the description. We have more room now. Use the 3 tags. For me, what trends really well is bohemian. I get so many hits. Vintage as well, but I don't carry that many vintage. But what I see people when they search, you do vintage, bohemian, contemporary, whatever it is that fits the item that you're selling. But use those tag words. They give them to you. You should use them. I feel that they are valuable. That's my take for SEO.
I love that. Thank you so much. I've browsed your closet. I mean, the pieces are gorgeous. I see a lot of boho. I'd also like to just give a little tip myself, and that is retro. You just said that vintage is in. So the word retro is our solution, right? To when it's not vintage, but it looks it. And you don't really want to cheat by putting vintage because that's not cool. But retro is the word for you. It means modern, but looks like vintage. And it's also super trending. That's one I use a lot as well. So let's talk about more of the expert tips, the deep level. I'm with 2 ladies that have been selling forever. Deneen, tell us some of your secret Posh tips.
Ooh, my secret sauce. Let's see.
The sauce.
Well, let's see. I would have to say, now let me preface this by saying the only time I don't do as much of this is when I do my live sales on Thursday nights because I try and get up as much as possible. My time is short to upload 50 pieces. So if I can, I upload the pics in Vendoo. This is a secret trick of mine. Okay. I use the photo lightener. I use the price checker and I get them all up in Vendoo and then I boom, boom, boom. I batch them into Poshmark. I import them right into Poshmark. and or export them, I should say. And I don't like using the quick list feature when it comes to live sales. This is why I use Vendoo and bring them into Poshmark, because I don't like not having photos. I tried it and it works for other people. It just doesn't work for me in particular. But I like to keep the pictures light and bright. Natural lighting is the best, but you can also get ring lights. You can use daylight bulbs. They help, they're great. You can even get, I'm very frugal, so you could use a white poster board from the dollar store for your smaller items, or just use a light backdrop. And then even go into an app like Photo Room to get, if you want to batch everything with a white background, put it into there and then it's done. Make sure you share your closet before you share anyone else's. Also, I personally use a selling automation. I believe in automating as much as you possibly can, or you can have someone share for you. For a minimal amount, you can have someone share for you, which gives you more time to list. So I use Posher VA, and I have a link for it if you're interested, but there's so many tools out there. I just think the automation is extremely important. It really frees up your time. Make sure you have pricing strategy where you list your items a little bit higher so you have room to haggle. And definitely, once again, check those comps, check them in Vendoo. And when you check the comps in Vendoo, Vendoo is not just checking Poshmark, they're checking all across many, many different sites. So that's what I have to say, and I'm sticking to it.
That was so much, all valuable. I do want to piggyback on a couple things that you said. One is that Sellhound, which is incorporated in the Vendoo format, right on the Vendoo form, checks comps everywhere. I'd also like to note that it shows you average current asking as well as current sold. And that's huge, because we're always torn as to which do we focus on more, right? Your active competition or what's already sold for like a reasonable price. Well, you can see it all at once on multiple platforms. So super cool. I also love what you said about the light backgrounds. There's a reason, everyone, that us sellers use those boring light backgrounds. And it's because, so socio shopping studies have shown that is more preferred, but also the search engines prefer it. And Poshmark has such high ranking. And I love your process with lives. That's really cool, using Vendoo to avoid those kind of quick, listings that might not be complete. And what about you, Jen? What are some of your expert Posh tips?
I have a mom, I'm a mom of two crazy boys, Jackson Hunter. So I have very limited time. The time I use, I'm going to call it selective. So I do selective sharing. Of course, you want to share into the 4 parties. The first 3 is categories. The one in the evening, it's a free for all. Wild West, you share everything into there. But I have a very limited time. I have a huge closet. So what I do is I try to follow, every day, just a few people. But Poshmark is not how it used to be, where I'm sure everyone remembers a meeting where you list and you're like, oh my God, it was raining money. Like, it was so easy to
Wild
sell.
Wild West.
Wild Wild West. Now it's not that case anymore. So now you have to make extra effort, whatever it is, save time, like use Vendoo, use anything to save time. The time that you do have, you want to focus it, maximize it where you're using that effort to make money, like sourcing, right? Posting nice pictures, modeling. I started taking pictures myself and modeling, and I'm thinking, gosh, these thrifters, what they have to do for one item, right? So I maximize my time as much as I can. If you cross us, which I highly recommend you do, because you don't want to put your eggs in one basket, right? So in order to maximize your money and your profit and your thing, you want to go everywhere, all those eggs everywhere, put those eggs, right? And Vendoo is great at that. I advise you to make a new listing, even if it's relisting an old item. There's no way that someone can buy a new item every day unless you're sourcing every day, right? So you want to list at least one item a day. It brings you up in the top, that bubble thing. I think that helps. Selective sharing, you cannot share all day. I still do manual shares, like to my friends or your repeat buyers. That's very important, right? And the most important thing I want to tell you is to engage, not only with your reselling friends, right? That's how you grow, but also with your buyers. Like, I'll pop in and be like, Oh, the My Shoppers. Sorry, I have ADHD. So if I go all over the place, you know what happened. You have the My Shoppers, which is wonderful. You can send these mass messages. Hey, how's your day going? It's fall, you're having a sale, this thing is coming, or just to say hi. Use those My Shoppers. You could send offer to likers. You could send, there's so many things now that Poshmark has, given us the tools. You just have to use them, right? To maximize your time, and whatever time that you have, mine is limited. So I use My Shoppers. I do the listing of 2-3 items a day. I do my selective sharing. I engage. For me, most important is engaging with your buyers. I buy from people who I like, who I genuinely, have a feeling for, like we have a relationship. So if you build that relationship, you get those repeat customers. I promise that your sales will not only stay steady, but grow. Those are my tips.
Oh my goodness, there's so much value. I love that we record these because I'm going to watch it again too. So what Jen was talking about, the My Buyers tool or My Shoppers tool. Amazing. Back in the day, we did that manually, by the way, by adding things to people's bundle and then adding a comment. Now Poshmark gives you the ability right from the app or computer to mass message, and you can target people based on activities. So if they've liked, if they've engaged, if they've commented, that is huge. Huge. Yes. Being able to do that. And it's also, sometimes I think that us poshers, with all of our posh love, get really carried away in posh love, and it doesn't always all lead to sales. But it does in many instances. Engaging, I mean, if you can create return customers, it's almost like passive income. They'll keep coming back to you. So that is a really big one. And I know Deneen has taught me personally a lot about using social media to also generate activity. Deneen, talk to us about socials.
Let's see. Okay, social media. Well, listen, you got to learn who your buyers are and what they want. So especially like you were saying, to have repeat customers, using social media is huge, because not only can you have people see that, look, I'm a real person. This is what I sell. This is my family life. They can ask you questions in the DM, in the chat. You can get all this information from groups that are on Facebook, on Instagram. Once again, I keep referencing like Vendoo, because Vendoo has so much information in these groups and in their blogs. So, and you can also promote yourself, and you can learn and see what other people are doing. You might want to take ideas, and inspiration from different people, and then morph into just a bigger and better business to help yourself grow.
So if you're brand new to the reselling world, of course, you're going to follow Jen at Bell & Blue and Deneen at the Frugal Fashionista. Sorry, confuse your handles. Underscore. And we'll pop those in the chat, ladies. Please pop your IGs in the chat. But also look at who they are following, because there are tons of resellers in the community that just freely and openly share tons and tons of tips. Yes. I regularly have many sellers, 2 of them I have the pleasure of interviewing right now, that I pop in. I look at their shops. I look at what they're doing. I know they're doing the same thing as I am, so I'm piggybacking on research. And yes, I will also talk about the blog, because we do create a ton of content for Poshmark and everywhere else. All right. So what are your biggest 2 tips each, ladies? Just 2, because then we're going to do a live Q&A for a Poshmark seller who wants to start selling live and taking their business to really the next level. We'll start with you, Jen.
For me, I feel I've watched a lot of lives. I'm a hoarder, truly, in my heart, because I love supporting the community. I sell so I can buy more. So it circulates. My first tip and most important is to be your genuine self. Every time I go on a live, I have so much anxiety before it starts, but people, I'm not kidding. People shop from people they like, right? So when you're true, authentic self, I talk about my life. I talk about my kids. I talk about my experiences. I tell them a little bit about myself. And then they get to know you. Once you build that relationship, I have repeat customers. They come and they shop with me because I've built that relationship. So just let your true you shine, And I promise they will keep coming because they'll get to know you, and they'll not get to know you just as the person that they're buying from, but as an actual friend. For me, if you build that, they're going to just keep coming to you, and they, even if they just come to support you and watch you, but they're still there to support you. Yeah. So that's my number one tip. Number two is for my closet, I'm always having to circulate. So what I do, which helps me, is that you never know which eyes or who's going to come to your life. I always have, because you can only do 50 items right now. I do like 20 of the items that I've shown, and then I'll do 30 new ones. So I'm always circulating it. There's no way I could do like 50, there's no way. So I'm begging Poshmark right now. Deneen, I don't know if you want it, but I've been begging Poshmark for cloning. Yes, to clone. So instead of every time, so once you close out your sale, it basically everything on your rack disappears and you have to reload again. So with cloning, it just duplicates again and you just edit it, right? So that's my top tip. Be yourself. And I promise, if you're yourself, and it's okay to go and scared. I'm scared each and every time. And now I think I'm on my 12th live show and I'm still scared. Be yourself. And I promise you will attract those buyers to you, and then have a good assortment of inventory. That's what I say. Just change it up. And if you want to do a theme, if that works for me, I've been sticking to 12 shows and still it's fall vibing. So it's still the same theme. It's fall time. And those will be my two tips. I'm only going to stick to those because I have a lot more, but those two.
So Deneen is a live selling queen. You are everywhere. I'm seeing you hosting shows all the time. I'm excited to hear some of your tips too. And I think I actually skipped like kind of how it works. So let's backtrack a little bit. So not only your tips, but tell us all a little bit about how to get started.
Okay. I guess I'll start off with how to get started, and then I'll give you guys my two best tips, and I'll do this as quickly as I possibly can. Okay, so first of all, you're going to go onto the Poshmark blog and you're going to apply. Yes. Unless you stay on to the end, Jen and myself have, what do we have? 15 to 20 referral spots to give away. And we'll talk more about that at the end. Okay. So, but really with Posh Lives, they allow you to communicate with the community, to know what people are looking for, and really have that return buyer, like Jen was saying. I mean, that is huge. Okay, so what you do is you go and apply. That's step one. Okay, then you're going to go to a Zoom training by Vendoo, and they're going to show you and walk you through. And I highly recommend that you video it, because you can video it from the Zoom, from your own computer, or from your phone to the Zoom. So you can always refer back to it. It's as simple as that. So now within 48 hours of the show, you click the tools in the upper right-hand corner, and then it allows you to actually create a show. So don't worry if you can't create the show right after the training. You have to wait 48 hours prior to the show. So I take the items that I already have created in Vendoo, I list them, and I take whatever I want from those items and I manually put them in the show. All you have to do is hit share, and a drop down will come and it says share to your followers or share to your party. And you want to share them all to your party. Share them all to your party. You get 50. And, remember, sharing is caring. So you want to leave a couple open because you can share for other people. Yes. So I say a couple because, you have to feel your way out in the beginning. Then the day of, Poshmark gives you a reminder, you start the show, you click it, and then you're live. And like Jen was saying, the best inspiration that Jen and I can offer you is to do it even if you're afraid. Yes. You don't even have to show your face. They have silent auctions. I'm not particularly a fan, but if it works for you, do it. Have fish going on in the background, have some music, interact in the chat. But remember, Poshmark is an interaction, and make sure you set a time. Now, after all this, if you're going to bundle, people ask you to bundle. I highly recommend bundling because bundling allows people to buy more than one item at a £5 increment. So when they buy the second item, the third item, as long as it's under that £5 limit, they're getting free shipping when you bundle. Bundling is creating a listing like we had to do 10 years ago, and you put all the items in one listing. They buy it,
Mhm.
And then some sellers wait 3 hours because after that time period, the buyer cannot cancel. And then they cancel all the old items. Me, I like to go on the honor system and I will cancel them out right away. My biggest tip would be to be consistent. So try and stay consistent to your day, to your time, cultivate your audience. If you're starting from scratch, don't feel bad. And use the, you could start at all different prices. I like to mix up my prices. I'll do $3 starts, $50 starts, $100 starts. I do all the starts. And this way it appeals to a wide variety of people. And that's it.
Oh, that's it? That's all? That's all?
That was
That's it. I hope I
amazing.
helped.
That was amazing. So I want to unpack it a little bit.
Uh-oh.
And just I won't direct either of you. So just feel free. So I want to confirm right now, Posh Lives are in beta. So at this time, not everyone can do it just yet, right?
Correct.
Okay. So you apply. I do love that they're personally onboarding everyone, making sure everyone knows how to do it. That's super cool. And you said it's a Zoom training.
Yes.
Correct.
Very, very cool. And then after that, you can go live as often as you'd like, right?
Yes.
It's Wild Wild West after. After the
The
first
Wild Wild
show.
West. There's fish tanks, there's yoga class.
People going to the beach. It's crazy.
Yes.
You can go live from anywhere. Oh no, just kidding. But and then you said you mix it up. So you different shows, different things, different start prices. And you can control that, right?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
So that's
When
awesome.
you're sharing for someone, they actually will start it themselves. You just do a request and they have to start it and price it themselves. So you never have to worry about that.
And for anyone that doesn't know what that means, because I did not until recently, so I'm going to clarify. When the ladies say sharing for someone else, it means if I were to go live, I could actually live sell an item from Jen's closet, which is super nice and a cool thing to do and very in line with, Posh Love and sharing the love with our PFFs. That's awesome. I also want to note what you said about bundling. So it sounds like what you just described to me is a workaround, right? Poshmark does not actually have this feature for lives just yet.
Can I just say, it's coming. They say it's coming this week. So this week, ladies, crossing fingers, both for resellers and for buyers. I mean, sometimes it takes me 3 hours to bundle, if you can believe that. You have no idea. Yes, on the back end, what we do and then have to cancel. Yeah. And for buyers, they don't enjoy it either because they have to cancel their credit card. But crossing fingers, ladies, it's this coming week.
So it sounds so I'm going to clarify just for anyone that's like super new to Posh and super confused. On Poshmark, when you're making regular purchases, not from live sales, there's a bundle feature. It's like the best bundle feature compared to like everywhere else. It's like smooth, it's easy. They literally add things to a bundle. It goes to a screen. You can comment. Beautiful. That is not yet. And what that does, by the way, is it allows you to do all of the sales in one transaction. So the buyer only has to pay shipping once and you do it in one sale. It's beautifully seamless for normal purchases. But not for lives just yet. So what the ladies are saying they do for 3 hours, oh my goodness, is when people purchase individual things. If I attend Denise's live and I purchase 5 of her amazing handbags, what she might opt to do is then thereafter create one listing, a brand new custom listing that probably says Erin 5 handbags and itemizes them. Then communicate with me to purchase said listing, then cancel the 5 former live sales. That's a whole project. Let's cross our fingers that it's coming soon. I admire your creativity though, that everyone's able to orchestrate that. And I hope that Poshmark releases this very, very soon for everyone.
It's rough.
It is
like
rough.
Jen said,
It's rough.
3 hours, but it will bring you return buyers. Because you really want to focus yourself on the buyer and what the buyer wants and take that extra step, and they know that it takes you some time. So just take that into account. We all hate it, but we do it.
Yeah.
Because it's necessary.
And let me just put out in the comments, do not worry. Crossing fingers, it's coming this week. So if you have your first show coming on Saturday or, this coming week, it's got it easy. It's going to be there. So crossing fingers for everybody that you will not have to do this growing pain that we experience during beta as it transitions over to auto bundling, which will be a lot more convenient for not only the sellers, the buyers, because I've gotten so many complaints with buyers and their credit cards after, the canceling. So it's coming, ladies.
I'm
It's
holding
coming.
you to that, Jen.
Oh my goodness, the microphone stop. So I just thought one question. Do you have to sell live to be successful? So I'm going to start by saying no. I do not sell live. It's not in the cards for me right now. If I had more time, I'd try. I encourage everyone to try it. I think that you're talking to two ladies who are absolutely killing it. And in the live Q&A, they'll answer even more about it. That said, while it's certainly not going anywhere and going to become popular, neither are regular sales. There will always be buyers that aren't going to watch Jen and Deneen, no matter how fabulous they are, because they're just not doing it. They're just buying. So if it's not for you, it's okay. But I hope that these ladies have inspired you to try.
Can I add something to that?
Of course.
And I'm sorry. I want to tell you guys, no, you don't need to live sell.
No, you don't.
Because especially with something like Vendoo, you have to be consistent when you list. That's the most important thing. And with Vendoo's delisting and relisting feature, and it only takes a click of a button, no tabs, not a million tabs to open, that is like gold. You can have new listings, not copied listings. You can have new listings up in your closet each and every single day. So if you only have time to do one listing, do one. If you have time for 5 or 100, I don't care, but try and do that each and every single day. That's how you make sales. Interacting, sharing your closet, putting it on automation or not, and listing every day. And Vendoo has been a game changer for me.
Basically being consistent.
Consistency is key. It's so corny, but it's so true. And
Mhm.
before we do trivia, I do want to add just something Deneen just said about Vendoo. So we have a lot of poshers in the house, I'm guessing. And you might be very familiar with the Poshmark copy feature. The Poshmark copy feature is a feature where you can copy your listing. If it's over 63 days old, I think, this feature is regarded in many ways as new, and it will then go into the new listing feeds. Not all of them, but most of them. What Vendoo does in delist and relist is not a copy. It's better. When you delist and relist with Vendoo, what you are doing in just a few clicks in bulk is you're actually totally deleting your Poshmark listings, because Vendoo hosts your photos and info. So you can totally delete them, and we totally relist them. But the thing is that those relistings are brand new first-time listings. Poshmark doesn't know they were ever there. They go to up to 7 more places than a shared listing and up to 5 more places than a copied listing. So we might hear a lot of, automation softwares talk about how like they delist and relist. They don't. They give you a Poshmark copy tool shortcut. We here at Vendoo do a true delist and relist, and it truly shows once you start trying it, because all of those listings receive so much more exposure and will lead to more Posh sales. So with that, before we do a live Q&A with our Posh experts, it's prize time. So first we have a prize for everyone, and that is 40% off your first month of Vendoo, and that's with the code Poshmark40. So be sure to use that. I promise you, Vendoo will help you grow and scale your Poshmark business and your business on 9 other platforms. With that, we have some other prizes too. 4 lucky winners will win a Vendoo merch pack, as well as a free month of Vendoo. And that's open to already existing users as well as brand new ones. So I'm going to give you the instructions. So everyone, what you want to do right now is you want to type your email in the chat, but don't enter it yet. Paste it. The winning answers to these questions will have the correct answer as well as your email. That's super important. That's how we're going to contact you. So have your email typed and then copied, because we're going to rapid fire these trivia questions. The judge of who types first, because it does appear differently. If you've ever been in a webinar and you thought your answer was first, it's based on internet load speed. That is Maria Antonia. Shout out to our partners manager at Vendoo. She's observing the chat. She will let us know who the winner is. So the right answer has your email and it has your answer. So number 1, in what year did Poshmark launch? Go. Oh my goodness, look at the answers coming in.
Woo!
I
can't
already
even
saw the
tell.
right one, and we will wait for Maria with the official answer. Oh my goodness, I see so many friends in the house too. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Annette. And who is our winner, Maria? I might have missed it. She probably already typed. Charlie, congratulations.
Woohoo, Charlie!
Then Team Vendoo will reach out to you via email. Congratulations on your free month and your merch pack. All right, number 2, are we ready? Do you have your email typed?
Stretch out those hands.
Stretch out those hands. This is a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
What is the best-selling brand on Poshmark in 2022? Go. Oh my gosh, right away. Right away. They knew.
Dude,
They
that was
knew.
so
It is-
fast. I was
It
like
is
that.
Lululemon.
They're better than I
Lululemon
am,
is
I
the
have to say.
top-selling brand. Wow, so many people knew that too. Oh my goodness, we have some Posh experts in the house. And who is our winner? It is Kelly.Bentrone. Congratulations, Kelly.
Woo, Kelly.
All right, number 3 is a tougher one. Poshmark was recently acquired by which company? Go.
I know.
You can't participate, Jen. Yep, and I see the answer. It is, I believe it's pronounced Naver. Jen, I'll ask you. Jen,
Naver. Yeah.
Naver.
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 And that was
Naver.
announced the day after Posh Fest 2022. And who is our winner there? Just waiting on that winner. Oh my gosh, there's so many answers, and you guys are good.
They're ready.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
They're ready. They want these prizes.
Oh my God. Well, they're really good prizes, a merch pack
Yes.
and a free month of Vendoo.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the winner, Eve Jose. Eve, congratulations. And the last one before our live Q&A. What is the name of the Poshmark CEO? It's an easy one. You're welcome. So, yep, everyone knows Manish Chandra. Wow. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Yes.
Everyone's good. You know your Posh facts.
That's right.
You really do.
Well, Marina said she thought you said city.
Oh, and congratulations to Hip Jewels too. We will reach out. Team Vendoo will reach out to all 4 of you winners. You have won a merch pack as well as a free month of Vendoo. And again, if you are not using Vendoo yet, you can sign up for 40% off your first month. That's huge with the code Poshmark40. So with that, it is time for a live Q&A. I'm going to browse the chat, but I do recommend for the most seamless experience to actually type any in the Q&A box right now. That's a wonderful feature. It pops up as individual questions. So use that Q&A box for questions and feel free to direct the question to someone, and let's take some of those. Someone said, do listings appear to both US and Canada buyers?
I think they do.
You want to take it?
Oh,
Janine.
No, I'm
sorry,
just like, actually, you have to flip. You have to go into the
change it. Yeah.
into the feed. You have to change it from US to Canada, and then you can see all of Canada's buyers, what they're selling, and flip back to the US and see everybody in the US. And at the current time, you cannot sell to Canada, and Canada cannot sell to us, and unless you have a workaround.
Someone asked, and I'll direct this one to Jen. Can you sell items in multi-quantity during live sales?
Yes. Thank gosh for that. Before, when they first started, that was a no. Now you can have, for example, if you have a box of shoes, like 15 sizes, you can do multiples. So that's amazing upgrade they have.
Oh, awesome. Will Vendoo allow for listings multiple quantity for each platform? I'll take this one. So Vendoo has multi-quantity in what I would call beta, and that's unofficial. But what it means is it's not yet perfected and it's not yet available to all. However, it is a work in progress that's very soon to be released. However, not all marketplaces do have multi-quantity. So Poshmark does, Depop does, Mercari does not, eBay does, Facebook Marketplace does for some users, for some categories. We're kind of all over the place there, but to the extent that the Vendoo marketplaces allow multi-quantity, Vendoo has that almost fully developed as well. And for Posh purposes, you will be golden. Someone said, I have 15,000 followers and they are having a hard time selling. They share all the time. They have old stuff and they're not sure what to do. Should they do mystery boxes?
If they want to do mystery boxes, I say more power to you.
Yeah, try it.
Try it. Most definitely. Mystery boxes that really sell too are like 5 for 20, 5 for 25, 5 pounds for 25. And then you can actually cultivate a great mystery box and possibly have a repeat buyer. I want them to, when they make a sale, to follow up with the person that bought them. And when they rate them, you say, thank you so much for purchasing from my closet. They can leave a message saying, listen, I'm having a sale on this particular day. Stay in communication with the people that like and follow and buy from your closet. That's so important. And make sure they're sharing their own closets first and foremost. And remember what I said about automation. When you automate your closet to have someone else sharing, I don't care if it's your kid, if you get your husband, your sister-in-law, I don't really care who you do it. Or if you have an automated tool, do that. Very important. It will free up your time to list more consistently. If they start to use Vendoo, they can relist, they can delist, they can delist, they can relist all their items in clicks of a button so they have a consistent listing feature. They're going to constantly have new, fresh listings in their closet, and that's what's going to make them sales.
I love that. Someone, and this is a perfect answer, question for Jen. I'm pointing at you with my lip gloss. This is a perfect question for Jen. How do you go about starting wholesale and a boutique?
It depends. Okay, first off, I always tell people when they come to me and they ask me, I always say, how much capital do you want to start at? Do you have an idea of what kind of, what categories you want to sell? Because, you know, each boutique is different. I do a little bit of everything. You have an option. There's an option through Poshmark if you want to start that way. The wholesale portal. If you want to just dip your feet in to see how, you know, if you even like that experience, if you want to do wholesale retail, there's the wholesale portal. If not, I'm in California. I apply for a reseller's permit, which is free to me. Just Google it, whatever state you're in, you apply for that and you can buy direct. That's what I suggest if you want to buy direct. But it is a learning curve. Like when I first started, I bought a lot of stuff that I shouldn't, you know, it is a learning curve. So you buy and spend according to what you, what is in your budget. Let's just say that. But if you want to start small, try wholesale portal just to buy a few and just get your feet wet.
Thank you. So reseller's permit, buying to direct is what you recommend, but some trial and error involved.
Yes, trial and error. It's a lot of trial and error.
Someone asked, and I'll refer this one to you as well, Jen, what is the difference between wholesale and boutique?
So wholesale is okay. So I buy wholesale, right? I'm a boutique. I buy from wholesalers to resell in my boutique. So I don't know if you like you're different. So I'm buying from like a third party, whoever it is, the manufacturer. So they're the wholesalers, and I'm selling it in my boutique. So that's the difference.
So Poshmark boutique items are not just new with tag items; they're actual wholesale items.
Yes, that's correct. I mean, they call it boutique because this is your boutique, right? But you're buying items to resell. So that makes it your boutique. It's new with tags that you can buy. You could buy from, it doesn't have to be like, I'm lucky. I live in LA. I could literally walk down to wholesale district where many of the vendors are and shop that way. But once you get your reseller's permit, I highly advise people to buy direct. Like that's going to save you. You're going to cut out the middle. I mean, they are the middle person, but you're going to buy direct from them at the lowest cost that you can get. And there's many sites online that you can buy from. You just have to get your reseller's permit. It's free to do. So if you want to try doing that, just do it. It's free to you for you to try. And it is amazing the potential that it has. Like, I always tell people the story, like I was working my 9-to-5 job. And when I found Poshmark, I started small, but without them, I've grown so tremendously. I have my son Jax is an IVF baby. I'm going to go real quick. So without Poshmark, I wouldn't have had that money because it's an elective, whatever, to have Jax. This house that I have, it's like, there's so much potential for you to grow. If you have any questions, because we're going to cut it short, you can contact me. I'm happy to help you.
Oh, that's very sweet. And thank you. That's so valuable. I'm going to take just 2 more in respect for these ladies' time. I know that Deneen actually has a live sale. So last 2. One is, do you think live is worth the time in return?
Yes, 100% yes. Because if you think about it, I know someone last month that sold 1,000 items, and it was just because she did so many shows. So even if she's selling, say you go to the bins, that's the best kind of return on your investment, the Goodwill bins. You're buying by the pound, or you're getting items from wholesale or from wholesale companies or mystery boxes, and you turn around and make $1 an item, that's $1,000. It just depends on your selling style. So it's a numbers game, but it really is. You have return buyers. And then you have people that I have a lot of activity in my Poshmark closet right after the show with flat out buys.
Yes.
So it really tickles the algorithm, and we all like doing that. So I think, yeah. And
we all like to tickle the algorithm. I love that.
tickle the algorithm. And honestly,
that's it. I'm using that.
Do it, and just do it. And even if you're nervous, you can work your way into it. You could do it for a half an hour, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 hours. It doesn't matter.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we could talk about this for hours and hours and hours and hours, but we are at the end. I want to thank everyone so much for joining. I want to remind you to use the code Poshmark40 to sign up for your first month of Vendoo. I want to remind you to follow Vendoo. We have a Facebook group as well as on Instagram at vendoo.co. We host these webinars all the time to provide tons of resources to our users, especially about the platforms that you can cross-list to on Vendoo. So please join us next time. And I also want to thank our ladies, our Posh experts, 2 of my PFFs. It's always a pleasure to do things with you ladies. I'm so thankful for the communities that have brought us together. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to them to say goodbye and remind us where we can find them and what they have going on. So thank you, Jen. You can go first.
I am Bell and Blue on pretty much everywhere, but on IG, I'm bellandblue_Jen. Hop in. I share basically my life with my kids and my food and my reels and stuff like that. And I just want to announce my 21st birthday is coming. I have a live sale tomorrow at 2:04 p.m. It's my happy birthday live sale, my 21st. So join me if you can. I can finally drink. So let's do it. Deneen.
Yes. So I am Frugal Fashionista _ on Instagram, Fashionista21 on Poshmark. But if you click on the link in my bio, I do believe in free mentorship. Yes. I have an email that goes out once a week. I don't bother you. You get tips. Okay, because I really believe in giving back to the community. Frugal Fashionista _ I have a live in I think 15 minutes. It's going to be best in bags. It's a show that I do with my partner, Alex, and we do it each and every single Thursday. But more importantly, what you've all been waiting for. Yes, Jen and I have about 15 to 20. We have to count exactly. So I'll say around 17 referrals. So if you want to do Posh Live, not only can you contact us at any time, you can also go to the Vendoo blog, Jen Bell and Blue. Jen, what's your Instagram? Bell and Blue _Jen, right? I'm Frugal Fashionista _ Go in our DMs at any time and we can walk you through the process whenever you need help. But the first 17 people, first 17, go right into my Frugal Fashionista _ because it makes it easier if you go into one of our accounts, and Jen and I will take a look at it together. We'll get Poshmark referral to go do a live sale because we had extras after our Posh Sip. And Vendoo has been kind enough to allow us to announce this during this live.
Thank you.
So don't forget, you have to leave your Poshmark closet name and your email. So don't forget the first 17 people to do it and go.
Go now.
That was super generous. We thank you both so much for that, as well as for your time and for being part of Team Vendoo. We love having these events with our users. We thank everyone so much for joining. Be sure to tune in to Denine's live sale in about 15 minutes, Best in Bags. And we will see you all for our next webinar. So thank you so much, ladies. Thank you so much, audience. Thank you so much, Team Vendoo. Shout out to Team Vendoo in the comments and our partners manager, Maria Antonia. We'll see you next time, seller friends.
Woohoo!
Happy selling.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.